Hi, it's Jean and welcome to this video tutorial today on tagging in Mailchimp. Now, it's quite a beefy topic, so I'm going to take my time going through specific elements of what tags are, how you can use them, but also the limitations with tags in Mailchimp. A tag is an identifier. It's literally a label that you're going to assign to an individual within your database. And they can have as many labels and tags as you want them to have because it's all about how you're going to filter your audience. So choosing which groups of people you're going to send a campaign to or have a survey submitted by. And it's about really being able to analyse certain groups of people within Mailchimp. So a tag is a label and it's up to you to decide what labels you want to introduce. Okay, so for example, it could be that you have customers all across the globe and you actually want to communicate with specific countries with different email campaigns, or you may have a survey that you want to send out to a particular country. You would then create tags for these countries, so it could be USA, India, China, UK, Japan. Whatever it is for your particular group of people, you would create a tag for them. And then what you would do is once those tags are created, you would assign an audience to them. So you'd select or upload individuals that would be part of China or part of America. You can also do a client and a prospect. So some of these people might be clients that are based in China or prospects that are based in China. You can give them as many labels as you want as long as it's under 100 characters. Okay, that's your only limitation. So let's take a look at our current list. It's quite a small list and we have the tags field here, and currently we haven't assigned a tag to any of these individual email addresses in our audience. So if we go to manage contacts and go to tags, you'll see that I've already created a few in here. We've got 3 country ones and a client and prospect one. So how did I do this? Quite simple. You just go and create tag. Okay, and once you've created that tag, you can just submit it and then use it going forward. So we're just going to put another country in. We'll put Iceland in. And then as we look now, we'll see that Iceland has been created. Now, if we went back to our contact list, okay, on the left-hand side, you'll see this filter by tags. And if I click on that, you'll see a list of the tags that we've created. So once I start assigning these to the individuals, we can then search by them. Okay, so let's try that. If we click on Sybil, we can add or remove a tag. So we're going to add Australia, and we're also going to add that she's a prospect. And as you can see on the right-hand side, it's added these tags to Sybil. We can also add to multiple groups of people. So let's just select these 3 here, but they all have to have the same tags. Okay. So they all have to be from China and they all have to be a client. Okay, and now you can see here on the right we've assigned these tags. Now if you change your mind and suddenly decide that Michael, is now a prospect for whatever reason, you could just basically uncheck and then add as a prospect. So it changes the information within it. So now we have some tags within the system. We can filter by tags. So it could be that we want to filter by one tag, which is Australia, and we get Sybil. Okay. Or it could be that you want to search as client, but then we want to say, right, we want a client that's from Iceland. Well, we don't have any. Okay, so you can start to search and filter by using different elements, different tags, okay. And once you've got the filters that you want, you can export that segment and use it outside of Mailchimp. So straight away you can start to see how you can kind of filter your audience using the tags that you're putting into the system. So it's a great way of doing it if you've got a small audience. I think it works really well and you'll find that quite useful. But what do you do if you have a big list of people already in the system? Well, this is where Mailchimp falls down a little bit because it's not so easy. You have to export your audience. Once you've exported your audience, you have to decide at that point by splitting out who's from China, who's from New Zealand, who's a prospect, who's a client, and you have to individually bulk upload those contacts. So you would have to bulk upload China clients, you would have to bulk upload China, you would have to bulk upload New Zealand clients. It would take you forever, and unfortunately that's where this whole thing lets us down, is when it comes to big databases. If you go to manage contacts and tags, what you will see here is I've created these tags using create tag. But if I was to go into bulk tag contact and try and assign one of these, it wouldn't work because it already exists. So this is about deciding what you're doing first off. Are you going to do it manually, at which point just create a tag? Or are you going to actually bulk assign tags? And if you are, you have to go down this route first. If we have a look at bulk tag, this is about your current audience, so you can name your tag here. So let's just say we have New Zealand. Now, I have yet to get this import email address to work. I cannot get this to work. I have tried everything and it just does not work. The only way I can get create a tag to work in bulk is to paste my relevant email addresses in here and then save the tag, at which point it works. So if I go to my 5 contacts now, you will see that they have New Zealand assigned to each and every one of them. And if I go into manage contacts and tags, you'll see New Zealand now appears under here. So it's really quite cumbersome. There's a few issues with it when it comes to larger databases, and that's the challenge. You've also got the same challenge if you're importing contacts. Okay, so let's take another list and let's say that we're going to import a number of contacts, and I'm just going to use a CSV file like I normally do. I've imported my list of 3 people right now, okay, and I'm just going to continue to the tag. Now, I can search for a tag, but like I've shown you here and before, you're going to have to get them in groups. So let's say these people are all based in China. I can do that. Maybe I've even got really clever and said that all these people are based in China and they're a client. I can do that. But all those people in that database will be assigned this. So again, it's quite cumbersome if you're uploading and importing data. You have to get groups of people together in order to be able to do it. And again, if you've got a big database, that's going to be quite difficult for you to do. So we've got our email address there and we can finalize that import. And when these people come into my database now, that's great. We've got all of them imported, the 3 of the ones and the client and the China. So it does it. But do you see what I'm saying? If you've got a really big database, you're going to get confused quite quickly as to what tags you're assigning to different people. So what I would suggest if you have a big database is to start small. Maybe choose a client and a prospect and assign them individually, because then you can do a lot of stuff with that. Maybe you assign them by account manager and you've got 4 account managers, do it like that. But the second you start to add a second tag, a 3rd tag, a 4th tag, you're going to have real issues in getting that data together. So, if you're a data-driven person, that might be a dream of heaven, but for me, it's my idea of hell. So, that's where tags play their part. So if you still decide that you want to use them, you've got routes there to do it, nice and simple in terms of a small database, or you're going to have to go down a more complicated route with a larger database. So now we're going to look at how you can actually use tags within Mailchimp. And one of the most common things you're going to want to use it for is most likely an email campaign. So if you actually go to create and choose your email, and then let's just call it something like test and begin that, then it's going to ask you who you're actually going to send this to. So if we just go to edit recipients, we have this segment or tag over here. And if we click on that, it will bring up all your tags that you've just created. Now, if you just wanted to go to all your clients, regardless of where they live or actually what industry they're in, then just click on client. And then it will send it to everybody that's a client within that list and that audience. But if you wanted to send it to a couple more tags, such as clients in China, then you have to create a group or new segment. So then what you would do here is you'll click all, okay, you would go down here and click on tags, we'd then choose client, and then we'll add another tag, that is China. So it's going to send it to everybody that's a client and based in China, and if we update that, we get 5 contacts. Okay, so that's where you can use it in terms of grouping a number of people that you're going to send an email campaign to. So another area you might want to use the tags for is your sign up forms, to be able to trace automatically where somebody signed up to your newsletter, for example. Was it through the pop-up on your website, an embedded form? Was it through Facebook? So the only way you can actually do this is by using another third-party tool such as Zapier, or actually looking at something like a WordPress plugin if you have a WordPress site. By using Mailchimp sign-up forms here and then integrating it with one of these tools, you'll be able to then automatically pull in the tag and identify in your audience where they've actually signed up to your newsletter. Another way of being able to assign somebody to a particular path that they've taken would be to use groups, and that's on another video on my channel. By using a group and assigning it to an individual, that will then enable you to trace exactly where they've come from, i.e. was it the pop-up form, was it the embedded form, was it on Facebook? It does require a little bit of skill just in terms of embedding some HTML and changing that up, but have a look at my video and I'll show you how to do that. So that is an alternative, aside from using tags and third-party integration, to be able to identify automatically where people have signed up to your newsletter. Okay, so another area you might wish to use tags is in a survey that you've created. So just to note, there's one here that I did that was a test survey, and there's a separate video on how to create surveys on my channel. But you can see here on the right hand side that they're all unknown contacts with their responses on the left. Now, that is because I've just basically copied and pasted the link, okay? And if you copy and paste the link, this is what you get, and anybody can fill that in if they have the link. However, if you do send it to your audience through a proper campaign to these people, then what you will get are the names of the people instead of the unknown contacts. So it's just worth noting that that is the case. So it's just so you know what to do there in terms of being able to analyse information. So if we go back to the survey and edit it, there are certain answer types that allow you to add tags. So open-ended ones don't let you do it, but ones where there's a definitive answer using radio buttons, checkboxes and ranges, you'll see here this little auto tag function which is switched on. Now you've got to think about what information you want to collect in terms of the auto tag. It has to mean something to you internally as part of a marketing campaign, for example. So let's say, for example, if I just change this particular answer type here, I'm going to ask the following question. Which of the following services are you interested in buying from us? Okay, so what we would want to do here is be able to quickly see who's interested in what. So this is nice and simple, this one. So if the answer is web design, then apply the following tags. Well, it's not going to be any of the tags that we already have, so we're just going to create a web design tag here. And we're going to make that nice and simple. We'll do a video production here. Okay, an SEO. And we've got paid advertising in there as well. So let's save those. So what is going to happen now is that when somebody from our database receives this link and they click on the link and they answer all the questions, what Mailchimp is going to do for this particular question is assign a tag to whichever ones this person will click on. Now, once that happens, then what you will end up getting is feedback within the back-end area of the report. So you'll be able to search by tags within the back end and actually identify individuals within the survey that has said they're interested in web design, or they've said they're interested in video production. So we're going to test this. Okay, so if we go in here, I'm going to send it to one person on that list. So I've just sent this through a campaign to myself as part of the audience, and I've completed the form by clicking on the link within the campaign, and by doing that it's obviously identified me here. And also what you can see is it's identified the two tags that I've had next to that particular question. Which of the following services are you interested in? So straight away we can see here that I've clicked on web design and SEO because it's pulled those tags through. So that's really good to be able to see that in terms of what's going on. Obviously, as you can see here, these are just through a link, but if you do send it through a campaign, you start to be able to identify who's clicking, who's answering, and what people are actually interested in. So if I go to my audience dashboard, which is where we started off at the beginning of the tutorial, you will see here that it's added web design and SEO to my account, which means that we can see here, these are the things that I am interested in buying from you. So for example, if you were to send a survey out to your database and one of the questions was, what services would you be interested in buying from us? And 100 people filled that in. Then what you can actually do is search here and say, right, okay, how many people were interested in web design? And it will bring them up and you can export that list and work with it from a sales perspective. So that's what it does in terms of adding tags to your survey. You just need to give it a little bit of thought about what it is that you want to monitor and tag, and then be able to do something with that information once you've collected it. So I really hope you find this tutorial useful to be able to identify what tags are, how to create them, how to assign them, and how to use them. I've given you some ideas there. Just remember, if you've got a really big database, keep it nice and simple and don't use too many tags. And let me know how you get on in the comments below. If there's any more tutorials you want me to create, just let me know. And please do subscribe to the channel so we can grow it together. Thank you very much. Bye.